are back once again, ladies and gents, for Corey versus Execration in the lower bracket finals for game number 3. The final deciding one. Who goes to the grand finals? Who gets left in third place? The South American versus the Southeast Asian team. And the winner gets to play against Boom, which is another TI team. Just like a Corey, would love to take this TI team final here at the pre-TI, which would be kind of cool in a sense, but, you know, a lot of SEA fans hoping that Execration would get to play against another SEA team in the finals, of course. But Hokori has definitely played a very solid tournament. I can't say the same for Fnatic's playoff stage. Their group stage was fantastic, but they got knocked out in 2 losses in a row out of the tournament very early on in the playoffs. And it is now down to Boom and Hokori to carry the flag of the TI teams towards the end. And Execration, they are, well, I wouldn't say the wild card. I don't think they can really be treated as a wild card anymore at this stage. But considering the status teams that they're going up against, they're the ones making a name for themselves if they can win this and challenge Boom at the grand finals. Interesting start for the draft, at least.
Yeah, for sure. You know, as you mentioned, Southeast Asia fans would like a Southeast Asia Grand Finals, but also, you know, it would show that BTS Pro Series Season 12 is stronger than TI. We have 3 TI teams and not even 2 of them in the Grand Final. It just goes to show how competitive the tournament is. With that being said, Execration, they switch things up in the draft right now. The thing is, last time around, I favored their draft. I still do. I favor it heavily. But there was this thing about it that you don't really have someone to play around. A hero that you can always fight around, that you're going to be winning the fights. This time around, they have it. So probably the execution is going to be, or understanding what they need to do on the map is going to be a bit easier. You have a Visage, you run towards the Visage. Around him, you're so strong. On the other side, we have Hokori's Enigma. So it's going to be very, if it is an offlane Enigma, might not be. But if it is, we might be seeing these teams just kind of giving away the map and going for pickoffs and constantly just resetting to the enemy big jungle, because that's where Visage and the Enigma want to play.
Yeah, Vitaly's the one who's played Enigma for Hokori 4 times, 3 wins, 1 loss. These have been against Boom, SMG, TNC, and Fnatic. Those are the 4 series where Enigma has been played by the hands of Hokori. We've got the Pango coming up again. It worked very nicely for them, so I might believe them to continue on the path of that as well. Vitaly, though, does he want to bring the Pango into his hands? Does Analog want to play the mid Pango? It really goes down to the matchups, because Execration is changing their draft a bit. They have no mid lane indicator. I don't think Visage is necessarily going to be played in the mid lane. So when they've usually gone for their mid pick flex, that could be mid pick or 3 or 4 in the first phase. This is looking a bit more easier for Hokori to read.
Wait, who played the 5 Enigma yesterday? Oh, it was Execration. Okay, I just don't want to see a 5 Enigma from Hokori. I think it would be a mistake. So if they are playing the offlane Pango, I'd at least like the Enigma to be a part of that lane, to just allow him to have a little bit more farm, to be to do a little bit better in the lane. Considering that Pango is pretty mobile, Enigma going into the jungle will not hurt him that much. So I'm okay with that. As I mentioned, I just don't want to see it as 5. I haven't seen too many games where a 5 Enigma has popped off.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of having a 5 Enigma when you have a first pick in the draft. Not first pick Enigma, but first pick, because you'd have to save your Enigma pick as a flex of 5 support after double picking in the second phase, where you're basically showing your cards and Execration is responding to it, and then picking a carry or an offlaner in your last pick to decide if Enigma is 3 or not. I don't like the order. If you had a second pick chosen, maybe then you could flex it around. But this probably has to be a 3 or a 4 Enigma rather than a 5.
Execration go for a Treant. I'm kind of afraid of their damage if they're not playing around the Visage. Of course, as I mentioned, they should be doing it, but Treant and the Nyx together don't really do that much in terms of damage. I'm guessing that what Execration are gunning for here is they want the Visage to be able to overtake the map, to take over the towers, and they want to prevent the Enigma from doing it. Treant Protector is the best one at protecting towers, so that's cool. But on the other hand, Pango is very good at diving towers and killing the Treant Protector. So I'm not sure it's gonna be the easiest one for iBank to pull off.
Yeah, the Train Protector is a new hero for Execration, but so is the Tiny for Hikori, who have not played a single game of Tiny so far. This could go anywhere. Where would you see Tiny being played this game? 1, 2, 4.
I would put it at 2. I think it's the best one. Nyx Assassin, Treant, even the Visage can die easily to the Tiny combo. So that is something that you have to be afraid of. Nyx Assassin, if he's not paying attention and just gets caught before the Spike Carapace, the hero dies, and that is pretty much what you want to do against this hero. You want him dead before he uses the Spike Carapace. A 4 Tiny doesn't accomplish that.
Yeah, and the 2 Tiny is also very durable in terms of how can we kill this Tiny fast enough when he's already a big, bulky strength hero with a lot of armor, which helps against the Visage already and the Visage birds. And even if you get caught by the Nyx stun, you can still turn around and deal damage. If this was a 4 Tiny, you basically play a toss machine. So you blink and toss. That doesn't pose a threat. And then you die. It doesn't really pose a threat.
Winter Wyvern coming out, considering you have a Tiny, the heals from the Cold Embrace are gonna be insane. Does help you in a sense. If the Tiny goes in, doesn't get the kill, the slows, the stuns, and everything will be keeping him in place for a very long time. And the Winter Wyvern is there to reset. The Winter's Curse or the Cold Embrace allows the Tiny to get a second set of spells off. That's quite nice, and that's why Execration are reacting to it immediately. They want the hero under the Cold Embrace to die, and Lesh is pretty much the perfect one for it.
Lesh is very good here. Just full-on pure and magical damage mix. Is very good against the Cold Embrace. But then there's the Winter's Curse that doesn't really have a massive impact in this game at the moment, because the only thing that can kill you is if Visage is the one dealing damage to the target that's getting cursed. So right now, heroes will live, but it allows them to set up for Enigma, and it allows the Pango to lock them down with his Rolling Thunder. So there are some good things Hikori can achieve with their ultis.
A lot of AoE on Hikori.
A lot of AoE.
But again, their lineup a bit differently, because this time you have a Tiny, but they might have an issue of killing that first hero, right? If it doesn't happen, their fight might be looking bad. Then you have to disengage with the Winter's Curse, with the Rolling Thunder, and not ideal. Then again, though, if you start off the fight by a tossback or an Avatos combo that kills someone, it's gonna be very tough for Execration to be running into an Enigma, a Winter Wyvern, and a Pango when they don't have the numbers.
Still, the final bans to kick in. TB ban and the Alchemist are taken out. Hikori taking some time to consider what is the worst hero that we can match up against here in the carry pool. And looking at Palos' hero pool, TA is in the pool. Faces Voice ban. So they're thinking about the Slark most likely here. Like, how are we positioning our heroes? The Tiny Pango most importantly here. Like, where are they going to be going in their respective positions if we let the Slark through the draft?
I don't think you let the Slark through the draft here. I think it would be a mistake for sure, because Slark loves laning with heroes that give him some kind of sustain. Treant falls into that category. Also, Treant is very hard to fight into, so Slark is either gonna farm easily or just constantly pressure you. They ban out the SF, which would be a pretty decent one with the Treant as well, though I think that Slark is gonna be a issue for them if Execration picks it up.
Also, Execration is thinking Hikori is missing a carry here in the last phase, or at least getting rid of some of the annoying ones, allowing Hikori to still flex around with their picks here. Let's see what they decide to go for. For Lumiere, a lot of his heroes are gone, but he's also played the biggest carry hero pool out of any carry player in the tournament so far. So he's got a lot of options to pick from. And I think at the moment, against the Leshrac, something like an Ursa PA would be very nice. And there's the PA.
Does make sense. I think this makes the Slark even better of a choice. I know Silver Edge currently isn't the go-to item for a Slark, but you don't have to get it until later on in the game. You can definitely focus on the other ones, so I wouldn't mind it. Plus, Lesh and the Visage can deal with the PA just well enough until the hero becomes the problem and you need the Slark to be dealing with her. So I really wouldn't mind that hero. I'm just looking if there's anything else that Execration would like to go for.
I don't know. Nature's Prophet is usually picked against Phantom Assassin as a lane counter. because of the damage output that you can apply. But this was probably not the hero that they are looking for to match up against the PA, but it could fit the draft. There's also room for a Bristleback. If they want to go with a run at you lineup with Visage and Leshrac, the Bristleback does gain some nice benefits out of the Vlad's aura, and then the Lesh providing protection. You got some good lockdown with Nyx and Treant. If it's not the Slark or the Furion, I don't know. Do they go PL again?
You can go Monkey King as well.
I was thinking
or
about
Sven. Or Sven. Sven would be okay as well. But I think Slark is still the best one. Monkey King would be the next. And I'd say Sven would be the third one I'd pick. If you want to risk it, you can go for something like a Drow Ranger. But I think it's really risky. Razor isn't that great against the PA, and the Tiny gets you low at the start of the fight, so Razor likes to be full HP from start to finish.
Yeah. That is true. Palos has played Monkey King, so yeah, that could fit in. Monkey King, Fury, and Bristleback is what I'm thinking. Maybe the Slark, but somewhere between those three.
Bristleback for me is too risky against the PA. You're just waiting for the Battle Fury, BKB Shard, and the Bristleback is gone. So you cannot allow that to happen. You're gonna have too narrow of a timing. Okay, that makes sense.
So this is Paulus' most played carry hero, and Hikori weren't feeling too threatened about it. PA is really good against the Pudge though because of the low armor that Paulus has. So he might have to itemize a bit differently as he finishes the Aghanims. Maybe he needs a bit more armor on this guy.
You need time on the PA. The level 18 is when this hero really pops off. So before that, you know, in some early fights, you could be there. The thing is, Pudge isn't going to be coming into fights until you have an Axe. And PA, you know, this hero fights when she has the Orb of Corrosion if the lane goes well. Once you get a Battle Fury, you kind of don't really go into the fights that much. You want to farm at that point. But before it, Pudge might be vulnerable, but I just don't see Pelos being caught off guard. He got caught enough in the previous game.
So offlane Enigma, mid Pango, carry PA, and then we have mid Lesh, carry Pudge, offlane Visage for Execration. The decider game to still get to keep a chance to fight at the Grand Finals, hope alive. I'm going Hikori on this one. I do have my liking towards the Lesh and the Pudge. Both are great heroes, and if they can hit their timings, I think that basically Execration should be taking a lead this game. Like, they should be ahead of Hikori, but Hikori also has the comeback with this PA. But PA, if you're too far behind, will be a very difficult game to bounce back in. So I think Execration leads, but Hikori might win it in the end. That's just my prediction.
I'm kind of looking at this one, and I'm gonna go Execration for the biggest reason for me is that Abang can protect the towers and thus protect the area that Vitaly wants to take more, and the Pudge can stay in the lane more than the PA. So because of it, I'm kind of looking at Execration. I'm thinking they're gonna be taking the early towers first, defending their own, and reducing the map for Hikori. And when I look at the Tiny being a position 4th, Yolikor is gonna take some time. So for me, the X factor for Hikori is the Spango. Just like in the previous one, it's not gonna be Vitaly, it's gonna be Analog. But Analog needs to play well against around the Enigma and around his supports to get those kills to actually allow the map to be open for Hikori. And I just think it's easier for Execration to make their idea work.
One really surprising thing is Execration did not smoke to the top lane to protect the trees. The trees are gone. And something I'm very curious about, because usually when you're playing a Treant Protector lineup, you would go from the top lane to protect the trees and take a fight there, or at least prevent them from quelling all of them down. Beautiful hook from Palos onto Gardic. He's trying to run away, flying and soaring, only to have her wings clipped for Bob to pick up a first blood. Absolutely beautiful hook coming in from Palos.
3 runes for Hakori, but considering that it was a Lesh that got the first blood, I'd say Bob is gonna be very happy. Lesh,
happy.
as a hero, hasn't done too well in the mid lane in terms of CS, so getting that extra influx of gold is gonna be big. When it comes to protecting the trees, I think you're still used to the Eastern Europe. Eastern Europeans really like to protect those. In Southeast Asia, the treants are a lot more manly. They're like, I don't need any trees, I can just fight head on, you know, so...
Yeah.
Might be the case.
Might just potentially be the case. This is the 3rd or the 4th game this tournament where we do not have Undying, which is kind of surprising as well, as it has been very heavily favored or being banned by either team. This would have potentially been a very good game for him, but as you can see, he's not in the pool. Draft's completely different from that, and I actually do like to see some variation in the drafts, despite seeing a lot of these meta heroes on both ends. And Bob is actually taking a lot of damage from the creep wave, and not even from the Pango.
I'm liking what Execration are doing on the top lane. They're just going constantly for Theolicor when he gets the tree grab. Even though their heroes have really low armor, you have to force him to use those right clicks on you. Because if he's just using them to take away your creeps, it's gonna be a problem. So I'm liking what they're doing. You run at the Tiny, you force him to attack you with the tree grab, and then he's not getting all of the denies and last hits he otherwise would.
Yeah. Abeng is doing a good job pummeling this Tiny with 0 armor. Getting a bit of an advantage, at least in the trading department, making sure the Tiny is low. And that also opens up Palos to get some plays happening here with his hook. He already landed 1 hook. Did miss the second one in the lane. Abeng again with the slow. Telecorp with the toss. And Treant Protector is going to get hit by Malefice. Maybe a kill for Hakori. Fairy Fire will leave him alive for a bit longer, but this Tiny smacks this tree in the back. Turns him into logs on the ground, and that is going to be the first kill for Hakori, scored in the top lane. Nothing Clutch can do about it.
The big thing is, Enigma, we already talked about it so much in our previous casts. The best position for that you can hope for is the Tiny. This is the one that you hate playing against, whatever you have. So, Execration, I think they're gonna be somewhat okay losing the lane. Though for now, it looks a bit too much, because Palos only has 4 CS.
Palos is not enjoying his time. Oh, mid lane kill. Analog lands himself into the split earth from Leshrac, and Bob with his 2nd kill already. He's got his boots, or his boots money is now secured with that kill.
Bob again dominating the mid lane, dominating the game pretty much. He might not even need to put a 2nd point in Lightning Storm, considering he gets the first blood and now he gets a follow-up kill. So, you know, even losing a few of the CS not gonna be that big of an issue. I wouldn't mind if he just starts maxing out the Edict right now.
Could be a good call. He's holding on to a point here. He's not going for it, but bottom lane, Tino is rather low. Phantom Assassin is one of the worst against this Visage, who will look for a kill and will get it as well with the Soul Assumption. It is something when we saw the PA pick come up, which I didn't touch upon at all, is the matchup against Visage. At the early levels, it is so bad for the Phantom Assassin. Like, you just absolutely struggle in the lane.
You can't get through the Gravekeeper's Cloak, you are very low in terms of HP, and very interesting that Hakori decided to go forward, considering that the Winter Wyvern was very low on mana, pretty much had no resources, so a bit of a mistake from Hakori. They lose their hero, but at least Lumiere is back on the lane, full HP, full mana, and will at least be able to get a lot of creeps right now.
Yep. Analog with bottle refill. They're attempting onto Vitali, or not. I guess the positioning is really key here. Like, if Enigma crosses a specific line, that is a call for Palos and Abek to go in. And Theolicor is kind of soft right now. They will go for the toss, though, as he's trying to interrupt at the pull, but he's going to end up in big trouble here. They got another avalanche from Theolicor to secure the kill on Abeng. And another one. This one's the first for Vitali. Vitali has been slowing down on his CS a little bit, allowing Palos to catch up, but he's got a lot of denies, and he still has that level advantage.
I'm curious to see if this Treant will be able to protect the top tower. because the lane is going amazingly well for the Enigma, and Execration, if they're unable to protect the top tower for a long time, the Strand Protector, his usefulness is just not going to be as high as Execration are hoping for.
Wyvern doing all the battling here. Tino looking for the kill with a Soul Assumption, and Lumiere doesn't want to intervene, but he would want to right now. However, can he get the kill onto Shanks? The tower is helping him out, but the Grave Chill keeps the distance. And Tino, it's a smart way to build this hero. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Palos very low. Another Malefice tick. The heal is not enough. The urn burns him down. Vitaly decides to change his item build from the casual Wraith Pact build into getting himself an urn for that extra mono regen, but it does provide damage too, which nicely works in their favor. And Abeng cancels the urn charge of the Theoliker with that instant Nature's Path.
It's not looking good on the top lane for Execration. The Enigma is getting way too much, and it might actually allow them to get that tower. We'll see how Execration approach it. They do have a very strong Lash that can rotate mid lane, though.
They're actually battling it out pretty heavily here. Shanks and Gardic both pretty low here. Shanks will die, so does Gardic, and it's just the mid laners remaining. There's a TP coming in from the Tiny, but Tiny doesn't look like he's going to get there in time. Bob, though, gonna get surprised by the Avalanche, but he's got no mana for the toss. Oh, he just got one charge off, but he didn't get the Bob in time for a good toss play for Analog to get the Lesh under the tower. Would have been a really big kill, because that's also a killing spree, providing a bit of extra gold.
Yeah, beautiful footwork from Bob. He understood that he could move left to the creep wave, and that's exactly what he did. If he ran directly to the tower, it might have ended badly for him. Theoliker could have gotten the angle for the toss back, but overall, Bob, as we mentioned, this guy has been crushing it for the entirety of the tournament, and he's continuing to do so even with the little things.
Here we go, 2 points in Edict. Watching this tower slowly start to take a hit. Abeng in trouble again. He's trying to battle it out. That he wants Palos to get into the action, but again, he's just not getting close enough. And Bob TP's in. But what does he TP to? There's nothing going on anymore. Bottom lane, though. Lumiere under the tower. Tino and Shanks not getting the chance to hit him. He's still blurred up. And there we go. There's the jump coming out. With the help of Analog, Tino is about to drop, and this will be an important kill for Lumiere, but is the slows going to do enough work for him? Another dagger available, and there we have it. Analog to take the kill.
Usually when the mid laner TPs, he wants to get the kill, but it was obvious here that the Analog wanted the PA to get that one, but in the end, there was no chance for Lumiere to do it. He did no damage to the living armor, and he just had to give it away to the mid laner.
Yep.
Palace top?
Wondering if Palos can actually be okay, because they're at the same time that we're putting some pressure here. Vitaly with the black hole, the Theoliker coming in from the side with the Avalanche, and that is a dead Palos. 2 deaths on the Pudge now, and Enigma starting to get out of hands. He's going to have a fantastic finish to his laning stage here. As you look at net worth, he is second, only 100 gold short of Bob, who did 1, get the first blood, 2, dominated this mid lane, and almost took down this tower. Analog is now here to apply the pressure. Bob, oh, he's found a good spot for himself, and Analog pushes him down to the low ground. Bob says thank you.
Yep. Exactly what he wanted to do. Very nice. No panic at all. He has the Invis rune as well. Next Diabolic Edict. This tower is dead if he wants to commit on it. But he understands the dangers of the Enigma. That's why Bob is going towards top.
Let's see if I can shut him down too. Timing could be impeccable here. He's going to spot Vitaly in the trees. Here comes Palos as well on the side. Rod's going to be there. Nice Avalanche is going to be interrupting them. And Theoliker, he's still keeping Bob at bay. The Malefice prevents Bob from casting a single spell. And that hook took a bit of a curve, but it lands onto the Tiny in the end. That was a very interesting curve hook.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Reminds me of a Angelina Jolie movie, Wanted. Very, very good. Everyone should watch it. It's so amazing. I'm just kidding. Just skip that one.
I'm not sure was that a good piece of advice or a bad piece of advice.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. If you want to, it's a comedy that they try to make an action. Anyways, no need to talk about it.
No spoilers. No spoilers in chat. 10 minutes closing up in this game, but yeah, that was basically very good from the Tiny to keep up those good moves rolling in their favor. Because, you know, like when you see this Tiny interrupt, this Shrek cannot get his spells off. Malefice is almost enough to prevent this Slash from ever getting Split Earth off. It's kind of like the old sniper headshot where Spirit Breaker, there's that good video, much better than the Wanted movie, where Spirit Breaker is trying to cast his ult and he just continues to roar because the sniper headshot continuously procs and he's just roaring on the spot. So Malefice ain't that powerful, but you can improve it. You can improve it.
It's close. It's close. You can see how Courier smoking towards the top lane. The bottom tower has fallen, and this is what they were afraid of. So they need Analog to be able to dive this Treant Protector so that the tower dies. And Ebank being level 4 makes him an easy target.
Yep, and now he notices that he's going to be in trouble as the Eidolon starts to target him. Analog here. Swashbuckle misses, but doesn't matter. He's actually stuck in the trees. And they're going to have to send a scout in front first, and the Avalanche will finish him off. Meanwhile, looking at the mid lane, they are putting some pressure onto Gardic, but they're TPing into the top lane now. An Execration for the return, and a lot of traffic on their way right now. Theoliker's going to be killed under the tower, and Analog going to get the roll out. He will buy time for Vitali to disengage. Palos, hooking time. There's the bird to land as a Rolling Thunder in. He's in an impossible curve between the wall, but this hook will not connect, not even onto the Wyvern.
Dire's top tower is being attacked.
Just sacked the time for it.
The whole idea of Execration was to defend that tower. I was actually surprised that they decided to chase, because that chase could have ended badly, but in the end they stop just at the right moment. They can't get anything more. They defend the tower, and that is the important thing. Corey's smoke isn't going to be giving them that much. Ebank, though, he needs that level 6, and finally it is there.
Shanks, he's on the scout here. He tries to take the bounty run away from Analog, and there's a lot of people heading towards the Pango. Shanks is going to get his stun out, but he gets the bottled DD, so he'll be able to use it for his second life, because this one is over for him.
Not looking at top lane. It seems that the Enigma will finally be able to get it, considering that the Eidolons haven't split up just yet. Yeah, the tower will survive.
Yeah,
so Execration, they're doing what they need to. This is how they wanted the early game to go, and they even have the gold lead. Even if they were slightly behind, it wouldn't be that big of an issue if they were controlling more of the map, because their lead is now going to start to increase, at least until the PA finishes off the battlefield, which is now.
One of the birds dies, so that's 100 gold that they can pick up. And they were able to take down that mid tower as Analog was spending his time dead, waiting to respawn. They moved Visage to the top lane, who had Vlad's. Now he has a Wraith Pact, and they're able to keep this top tower operational.
Yeah, you can see, usually you want the Visage on the bottom lane, but you can see that it's more important for Execration to keep this top tower alive. And you know that you're going to be fighting around the Visage Wraith Pact, so they're keeping Tino on top, and if there's a dive, Execration are going to be TPing in, but maybe it's time to just finally let it go.
Yep, that's a bit too much for them to deal with right now, so they will give this tower away. Enigma has a vessel, but no vessel charges currently, so he will have to look for some refreshments. And now starting to build his Wraith Pact. He's made a bit of a difference in this build, suspecting that maybe they can get some usage out of the vessel before BKBs, or maybe after BKBs. I mean, it's a potential BKB popping ability as well, like, you know, just put that tick damage onto the Pudge, for example. He'll feel threatened. Maybe he'll need to use his magic immunity at some point. They're smoking up for a black hole use, and Tino gets eyesight of Analog. Analog is close to getting the jump in. Tino is nearby. They want the birds. They will get it.
That's a big thing. There are no birds now for 80 seconds. So Tino's damage output and control just isn't that high.
Palos is getting closer to Axe. He hasn't really been interrupted anymore after those 2 deaths he had in the laning stage.
Good positioning for Execration.
Oh, good stun on the Oliker. Analog trying to intervene. The Bloodstone heal there for Leshrac. He's getting a lot of spell lifesteal out for all the damage he deals, and this is the scary part about playing a core Lesh, is that this guy will run at you with all the force that he has. Pango gonna get stunned up by Shanks, and Gardic in the trees. He's going to have to use the curse. But he might just end up falling in the arms of Palos with Shanks with the stun. Guarding the fall. 2 kills for Execration, who could keep on going here. They just used Diabolic Edict as well in this tower. There's no glyph.
Nice move coming out from Shanks there, just to move a little bit to the side, not to get caught by the curse, and that just gains them another kill. So not much, but you get an extra kill, and without the curse right now, Hikori, their ability to defend this tower is non-existent, especially with the Lesh having the Arcane Rune.
Yeah, the push is pretty crazy. That's going to be a 2k lead for
Shanks
Execration
got
with this one full. Analog, yeah, he's okay, he's okay. Trying to keep him busy at least, preventing them from intervening in that tower. And PA continues to farm. She will get bigger as time progresses.
Lumiere is going for a Deso. He sees that his team is lacking damage. He's probably getting info from his team. We can't kill these people. You need to be able to contribute in the damage department. Usually you would see him going for a BKB, jumping the Nyx, killing that one at the start of the fight. But the thing is, the cores are not gonna die if he doesn't do more. Still, I'm not sure how he approaches these fights. He needs to jump at the perfect moment, and it's gonna be a very tough one to find.
Yeah. At least they have Analog to help out the PA. You know, you got the Fusel Blade. PA will get some extra hits in without the opponents instantly getting away. Even though you do have the dagger slow, which is handy. And they're targeting Abeng. Will miss the swashbuckle, but Analog's right clicks will do a decent job here. We'll find him in the trees. And there's the hook to save him. Analog doesn't get hit by it, but Abeng gets pulled to safety. Palos calculated with this one.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
Very bad positioning for Hikori. They're under enemy
Vitaly.
vision and in a place they don't want to fight.
And Vitaly's in an awkward spot too. Analog has nowhere to go. The Oliker does have the toss for the cancel. Swashbuckle to safety, but Tino
It's coming.
just needs 1 point of vision to land the Soul Assumption, but there's only a Grave Chill for now. Swashbuckle comes in, and that's going to be the end of the Pango. Tiny able to TP back home, but they lose their core.
The thing about Hikori, they want to be in the enemy jungle right now with the Enigma. There, they have no vision. They can't even get rid of the vision of Execration. So currently, Execration are controlling every part of the map, which also puts Lumiere in an uncomfortable position because it's going to be very hard for him to actually decipher when he is the one being targeted and when his teammates are. It's very, very hard for Hikori to play. They don't want to be on the bottom, but they have to.
Bob wants to also push into this BKB to really snowball in this game. Like, this is where Lesh will get free roam to do whatever he wants to. There's not a lot of interrupts for that too. There's Vitaly with the black hole, but he also needs to finish the Wraith Pact before Execration start to stack up so that they get that extra item for their team fight. And he's only level 10. Needs that level 2 ulti. No action rune in top. Hook will miss because of it. The Oliker going straight for the Arcane, secured for Analog.
Hikori don't have much to make plays with, so this Blink Dagger on Theolic Core, it's the thing that needs to allow them to initiate. They're also gonna be needing toss back, so they need to secure that fights happen around their vision. So triangle has to be constantly seen by them, and on the bottom lane is the more likely for them to get kills. So this ward that's on a cliff right now, it's something that's keeping them alive. If Execration gets rid of that, I wouldn't want to be in Hikori's skin.
I'm curious about Lumiere. He just bought the second Mithril Hammer as he queued up BKB, so he's still finishing the Deso. He hasn't locked his item. He hasn't locked his item at all. He didn't actually even buy the hammer. No, he didn't even buy the hammer. Yeah, so he's just going for BKB now instead.
I like what Shanks is doing. He's not going for kills. You can see that Execration, they don't want to kill there. They just want to see where Hikori are without losing any heroes so they can open up for Roche. Information, and also Hikori feeling uncomfortable because they don't know exactly where Execration are. Thus the PA cannot farm effectively.
Maybe Shanks is the host of Intro Wars.
Well, maybe.
Maybe not. Roshan is going down at a very good pace here. There is a Winter Wyvern right next to the pit though, and Shanks gets the stun just in time. They can stun lock him down. They don't even need to just burst him. If you did get there undetected, even if this ward was here. If he did come from a different direction, maybe he could have interrupted Roche for a good curse, but right now, it's going to be Aegis for Bob.
Where the Hokori play right now, the vision of Execration is amazing on the top lane, and on the bottom lane, Hokori cannot fight. It's just too open of an area for them, and they cannot like wait on the high ground and catch multiple heroes in a black hole. It is so hard to play Dota right now if you're Hokori. This PA, I like that he decided not to buy a BKB. You needed that, so someone needs to die. Blink, Avatos, once the Tiny gets it, and he has it, and someone has to die. If that doesn't happen at the start of the fight, on your vision, Hokori are just gone.
Time for a tiny bit of a pause. We do get the goal sign from Abang to get the game underway again. But let's take a look at graphs for the time being. Execration with a 4K lead has been looking very stable for quite some time, and they're continuing to increase their numbers. But you cannot forget about the late game potential of Hokori's lineup. So Execration, they're not really on a timer, but they know things are going to get harder. Definitely have tools to fight against them, as you can see here. Yoliker will get the last hit as they kill off the Nyx assassin. There is also a curse in the top lane. The birds are killing their master. And here comes Lumiere, but the TP is kicking in from Bob, so they have to back out. Birds don't break
TP on
blur,
the wrong bird. Yeah, they don't, but TP on the wrong bird. If Bob TP'd on the right bird, maybe they continue the chase. Bottom lane?
Yeah, just
Palos
maybe.
is dead.
Oh, Palos is dead. Okay. That's a bit surprising. That wasn't even a black hole being used. And now onto Bob. Lumiere trying to get rid of the Aegis here, but Lumiere's fighting for his life. Gardex body
made a mistake.
Oh, the savior ends up being the nuisance. You killed Palos, but you just lost your carry on the other side of the map, and that's a costly death for the PA.
Yeah, the Lash just had too much in terms of tankiness. The Living Armor gives you so much, even with the death, so the damage output was small. You know, he even got a few crits at the start, but ever since the Living Armor came out, 20 armor on the Lash, it is just impossible for PA to do anything. I have to praise Hokori, though. They found openings on the bottom part of the map. Execration getting a bit ahead of themselves because they have the Aegis.
At least they force out the cliff on the top lane from Hokori while they were going for a tier 2 siege. And an arcane rune is available. That will be secured for Bob, who's charging his way straight to it. He's gonna have one of the best runes to have on all this track. And here goes Shanks for the initiation. They can already put it to test. There's an avalanche though, but the stun does fly through, and this time Shanks doesn't walk into the hook. He walks through the hook.
No. Yeah.
Palos Axe doesn't get something done here. He does get vesseled up, and he's ticking quite low here. Rot is doing some work. That flesh sheep also runs out. They've got the Treant ulti holding Pango on the spot. There's the curse onto the Leshrac, but where's the damage? Where's the damage? Vitaly can't even black hole. PA is not even there. PA is just farming on the other side of the map, so Execration just looking for freebies.
Very good positioning from Execration. They just allow Bob to stay in front, and the rest of them are just kind of circling around him and providing some kind of support. They know that Bob himself is gonna have enough damage to deal with them, and if Hokori commits onto the Aegis, they just all die. So it's a win-win scenario for Execration, where they're taunting Hokori to make a mistake. Hokori don't do it, but then again, there's nothing they can do to save their Enigma either.
The bot lane, they found Analog. Shanks is right on top of him. The Carapace is going to be there to stun him, and he's got nowhere to go except the loving arms of the Pudge.
Into the tummy of the Pudge.
Into the tummy.
It's just very hard for Hokori right now. They're not controlling a single part of the map. They're just running from their triangle to their big jungle and hoping that they're not gonna meet Execration. Right now, they don't even have that vision on the bottom lane that they had, so it's much tougher for them to play. And with the Aegis still being in hand, Execration can run towards the top lane. It's just a question, can Hokori get themselves out? You can see supports, they just know, we give our lives now so that Lumiere lives. That's the best we can do.
They're going for the initiation. They've got Lumiere stunned up. Bob is making his way with the Diabolic Edict and into Gardex arms. Gardex is going to be there with a curse. Again, Lumiere trying to squeeze his way through onto Violic Cord, trying to TP away, but the raw damage. Oh no! So close. So close. But just
He
not
even
enough.
tossed him away. He even tossed him away. It looked like the stench was gone, but it lingered just enough for the PA to die. Hikori, they did their best to keep her alive, but that ward placement from Execration, they see him, they jump on Lumiere, and ultimately they get the kill, even though it was really, really close, as you mentioned.
Well, this is the point where Execration, they have very good control over the map. They can do what they want at this time being, and this Aegis is going to run out from Bob. And he's building into armor, rightfully so. Recognizes that this PA is definitely going to hit hard when she hits that level 3 ulti. Not too many levels away from it, too. So already preparing in advance with the Shivas.
Analog that again.
Yeah, we've seen this happen before.
Under fire.
Shanks stalking Analog. Palos shows up. One carapace stun to the shield crash, and voila.
Man, this Treant Protector pick worked out so well for Execration. It pretty much set everything of this to happen because the map control of Execration, them keeping that top tower alive for so long, just made all of this possible. And now, Hikori, the thing that they're relying on is the PA doing immense amounts of damage, but even now he gets the BKB. There is no level 18 yet. Heroes are just not gonna die that easily.
Yep. You still need 2 levels and a bit of XP on top to get that level 18. Have that big
AC
benefit.
ready on Tino, and you have the living armor. I don't see a hero dying to the PA. You could argue all of these heroes on Execration, they're kind of lowish in the armor department, but considering the living armor and the AC plus the rate pact as well,
Yep.
if they're all together, that's just not the case.
Yep, and they're smoking up in a very difficult position because Shanks is already there. They use the dust, and he blinks out from the avalanche of Theoliker. So that will also be a missed smoke opportunity, and Vitaly is also not very happy with smoking right now because he's not got no blink, no BKB. They're both still in the works. Tino on the high ground. Bob's just farming because he can.
They don't even care about Execration to get a fight. They just want Shanks to break those smokes, get himself out, even
Smoke
die
again.
if it means. Yeah, I think you do. There isn't much that Hikori can do other than smoke out right now, hoping that it's gonna be a bit better, hoping that this time they'll be able to read where Execration are or where Shanks is so they catch him.
Yep. They're stacking up again, just pushing out the waves and looking for the smoke to leave the base. Stacked up together. Here we go again. Attempt number 2.
They will try for the other side. Okay, one side didn't work. Let's go from the other. They know how Execration are positioning, so this does make sense. If they have a ward, they can place it on the hill, and it could be a good fight for them. Let's see how they
pop
approach the high
right in the
ground.
creep wave, though. They're very close. Gardic especially. He's been spotted, and Palos, quick reaction. There comes the Vitaly. Doesn't get the black hole off, though. They're stacked up, but the stuns are there. Palos has already finished off one. Analog pushes him away, looking for Vitaly. Does get it, but the birds are in between, and Tino cancels the black hole as soon as it gets out, and this fight is already over. There was the small chance to get a bit of a recovery fight, but not gonna happen. Black hole on cooldown.
Smoke popping on the Winter Wyvern was an issue. It
was
just
right
was an
next to
issue.
the wave.
Next to the wave, Palos sees him, jumps in on him. At that point, the fight is over. You need that one to reset. You need to jump in first, try to get a kill. If you manage to do it, great. If you don't, at least have the Winter's Curse to reset. But you just didn't have that hero, and after that, it's just impossible for them. Hikori again, back at the same spot. They still have one. No, they have no more smokes in the shop. Okay, now it's just turtle time, and this is an easy game for Execration to end just by slowly kind of getting more and more of an advantage.
Like we used to say, choking them out. There's nowhere to farm on the map. All the lanes are being pushed in. All the camps are being farmed by Execration. And Hikori just sitting ducks.
There is one more item, the shard on the PA, that maybe changes something, but even that, it is not certain. Level 18 is still a necessity for Lumiere, and he has nowhere to farm it.
He's finished a bit over half a level in the last 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, something like that. Just taking them some time. Meanwhile, Bob's already hitting level 19. Pudge is 20. Tino's 18. And this is where the Visage is now at his utmost strongest. He's got the armor corruption talent for the hero and the bird, so that's -3. AC gives you that nice extra -5 plus more armor for your team. And I don't really rely on minus armor in this draft, but it definitely does help them out. Now they really need some kills. And Palos, his ulti will get cancelled. Lumiere jumping on Palos, but the stun comes out as well. And he doesn't even get to BKB. The biggest issue for this fight here with Lumiere not even getting to Black King Bar as he jumps in. Vitaly dies to Tino on the side. And a Corey, they're in shambles. Execration are diving tier 4 towers. They want guarding. They want everyone. Make it a team wipe. Execration to run them down.
Hakori knew that they were not going to be getting any more items. All of the big items that they could get came out. Level 18 on the PA, impossible to get. It would take too much time. And they made a risky play that has like 1% chance of working out. It doesn't work out. If they stayed in their base, they would have no chance of winning. So at least they played for that small percentage of a chance to win. Didn't work out. It seems like they'll have at least one more fight left in them, though. I doubt it's going to go any different than this one did.
Yeah, it's even harder now, considering
Yep.
it just got team wiped. So all of that advantage that Execration has had keeps on growing even larger. And Enigma is still building BKB or Blink Dagger. This is how starved they are on this side. These same items on their queue for who knows how long. Maybe 6-7 minutes without making a single bit of progress, where Execration has been getting everything that they want. Shanks will stun the Oliker on the high ground. Bob is charging in. Lumiere gets the initiation now with the BKB. There is the Bloodstone, but he's got no targets to hit. They're all magic immune, so Leshrac will fall. The Oliver coming in with the buyback as well. Shanks is on the high ground. Does get Yules into the air, so he will dodge the dagger. Black hole only onto Tino and the birds, but it is a worthy one because they finally get themselves some kills. And Palos looking for more. Lumiere's got the BKB, but Palos does. There's the curse. They're trying to kite him out. Next Assassin coming in as well. Abang will come in with the ult to keep the Enigma on the spot. That's one kill. Palos for the second. Toss from the Oliker, but slowly rotted down by Palos, and they're hunting for more. Blink Dagger onto the low ground. Looking for Gardic, looking for Analog, maybe even Lumiere, who is trying to stay in the lane for a bit longer, but Shanks is here. Blur will pop. Lumiere knows something's up. I'm in trouble, guys. I've got no BKB. I've got no teleport. The rest of the boys are coming in as well. He will get the jump to the creep wave, but it's a desperate chase. Lumiere, nowhere to go away, and this is where you get tipped and you get taken to the graveyard.
The big thing for that last fight, you know, or the one at the triangle, the first one, Lumiere didn't get the BKB off. This time around, he got it off. It was a 9-second one. He was saving it for this situation. He got the kill on the Lesh, and that is pretty much what allows them to fight. The thing is that the Lesh isn't the only heavy damage dealer on the side of Execration. There's Palos as well, and if you don't have BKBs, well, this guy will just stink you to death. So, Execration, the lead is just way too big. Even though everything worked out from Hakori, the Living Armor wasn't used on the Lesh. They jumped the Lesh. They were able to bring him down. Bob with only, I was about to say only 24 armor. That's a lot.
Only.
But no, actually, no, it's not only 24. It's a lot more. It's 29 if the AC is not close to him. If the AC and Vlad's is on him, he has like 40 armor. But still, he didn't have the 12 extra from the Living Armor, and it was enough for the PA to get the kill. So pretty much a perfect fight for Hakori, but we see that the perfect fight still isn't good enough.
Yeah, and those really important things would allow them to actually take down this Leshrac is when you pop the Bloodstone, get that extra spell life amp for yourself. They're going to be killing Gardic meanwhile. Is the fact that you have a Rolling Thunder Pango who doesn't take magic damage, and you have a BKB PA who doesn't take magic damage. So Bob has no source of healing around him while he's being stunned, giving him no sustainability whatsoever.
Cool play from Gardic, though. They placed a ward to find him, and he placed a sentry trying with his dying breath to get that one down, to get the ward down.
Very difficult battle here. Overseal Totem used by Palos, and he has the BKB. Keep distance off of him. He was Malefist by the Enigma, so he might have ended up taking even more damage if he did stay. So he uses it preemptively, make sure that he doesn't end up in trouble. And what might have dipped back to 21k is back to 25k. So you see that small little bump in net worth there? Well, it's going down again. Continues to grow.
Considering how fat the Pudge is, I could actually imagine him moving like a seal, so it does make sense that he
But Enigma has Black Hole.
And BKB.
There's still the Treant who can cancel, but the Black Hole BKB... Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yes, BKB. Well, he does have Black Hole, too. But he's got the BKB now. The Oliker smoke will pop, and catches actually Bob in the tree line, while Shanks is on the other side. Dino's coming in as well. The Yules will keeping him in place. And with Annihilism, he will annihilate this Tiny. And Vitaly, he could go for a Black Hole. He will. Tino's in it as well, but the Treant's there for the cancel. Palos gets sniped down by the dagger, and Tino's about to return from the grave as Bob will finish off Vitaly. Analog doing a lot of work on the back line, but PA is not in the fight anymore. Analog needs to find a way out.
Bob is alone.
And they will go all the way out to Bob, and he's got Aegis. And he's doing as much work as he can for his team to soon arrive and help him out.
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
Okay, Bob doesn't care that he's alone.
He doesn't mind. He's a tough cookie to crack.
Almost impossible right now. It is insane. I don't know exactly how much armor he has because there's a bug, but it's over 40. And when he has all of the buffs, it is just insane. He's baiting them with the items, dropping the items down.
Yep. He does a lot of damage there as well, but he's completely out of mana right now. So Bob doesn't do much if they focus on the other heroes, but they're just disengaging from the high ground. They've already taken the bot racks. They forced Gardex buyback. Another threat factor taken away. And PA understands the importance of this BKB this fight. She's going Refresher.
Yeah, really, when it gets low, it's a problem. 7 seconds is already low enough. Do I have to call out Bob? That was uncalled for. South America team here. They're your guests. You need to be nice to them, not drop the items and just kind of laugh at their faces that you're 99% eliminating them from this tournament. Gaben even says 100%. So, you know, Bob should be a little bit nicer to his guests.
Yep, we've been at 0% for quite some time. So no chance given for the late game scaling. Probably because of the lack of buildings in the base. It plays a pretty big role in this, but Execration going to be charging in onto Vitaly. Vessel charge used right away. The stuns are going to be kicking in. Wraith Pact in the middle as well. There's a toss from an impale into a heal, so it's basically a flying block of ice. While Bob on the side finds the Oliker. Does get a slow. Does have Force Staff to push him to the high ground. Finds a Mango.
Yep.
Gotta keep
Nice way
healthy.
to... This is an okay way to welcome them to Southeast Asia. Bob just going forward. They want to end the game right now. Hokori, they need to find an opening. And luckily for them, they do have some buybacks, but they have to start the fight now.
And here goes Lumiere with a hook. He does get the jump out to safety. They got the toss on Bob at the same time. But look at Bob. Look at the life steal on this guy when he deals damage. Doesn't worry about a Vessel charge on him. Like, what does this Vessel thing even do? I don't feel it. I don't see it. Melee down to the rain tracks.
Way too much heal on Bob. They just can't do the damage. They still have the BKB on the PA. And Lumiere is trying to find an opening.
Analog is going to be rushing in. Bob is right there. 4 seconds on Aegis. The timer might just be perfect for them, but he is now out. He's got the region up as well, and he's fully healed up. Palos does have Lumiere in his hands. His BKB's about to run out as well. Vitaly down,
Lumiere is
Analog dead,
alone.
Gardic down, Lumiere all alone. And that is the end of this series. Execration to the grand finals as they knock out the TI team Hokori.
So it is gonna be a full Southeast Asia Grand Finals. So Southeast Asia fans should be happy.
Yep.
At least the team from their region will be winning the BTS Pro Series Season 12 here. But I have to say, Hokori, they did show up quite nicely in this tournament. I think it was a good learning process for them. Because they're gonna be playing in a international tournament. A lot of them for the first time. And, you know, getting a sense of how other regions understand Dota in a different way is going to be a big point for them. So now, with this kind of a thing under their belt and also watching the last chance qualifiers, they are going to be much better prepared for TI.
Yep. It is a good prep tournament for them. Pretty happy in general of their performance in the group stages, in the playoffs. in general, I feel like Hokori has a lot to show, and it's important that they do get a learning experience out of this because you can't kind of always say that, yeah, you're a TI team, you're going to beat everybody in the world. Hokori is playing against a completely, well, I wouldn't say unknown region, but a region that they haven't played against since how many months? How many, maybe even years that they've got to play this many games against SEA teams. So the gameplay style is different to them, which was their secret weapon as well. Like, how do they face Hokori? Execration were in trouble in many moments. Like, how is Hokori wanting to play this game of Dota this time? Are they doing a shift in draft? Are they executing differently in this game? And in the end, it felt like Hokori... they did give some positive remarks, and, you know, the rest is just TI prep. Let's see how they do in TI itself. Did they get anything learned here at SEA, or was this basically just a warm-up tournament for them? We will probably never know. We'll never know about that. But Execration nevertheless goes into the grand finals, Harry. So we have Boom versus Execration, and we have a 30-minute break. So a proper break for Execration to get their mindset back up, take a quick rest, and prepare themselves for the grand finals of the BTS Pro Series Season 12 SEA Best of 5 with Boom versus Execration. We'll see you in 30 minutes for the grand finals.